We had an instance where a lady she'd got dementia, completely physically well as far as we were aware. The night staff actually heard her start to have a heart attack. They didn't know that at the time, they just heard her starting to be sick. So staff immediately went to go and see this lady, got her sorted out, cleaned up, actually sat her up in a wheelchair and brought her to the lounge area so they could monitor more, rang 999 and the daughter and all of those things. Ambulance crew came, took her into hospital. Now, unfortunately, she passed away, but the great thing was the daughter was able to be with her, and she was actually dignified, and she'd actually still been able to communicate right through to the end. So she was in hospital. Now, in a normal care home without acoustic monitoring, we would have found her 2 hours later, if not in the next morning, because she wasn't the sort of lady that needed regular checks through the night. So I think that the biggest impact it made on me was the dignity we were able to give that lady in her final few hours, there's just no other way of getting that in a home setting. One of the big advantages for dementia clients is that they actually get to sleep through the night. So if they don't wake up, if they don't have a disturbed night, then they do sleep through. They're not being woken by a night staff, no matter how quiet she tries to be. They don't get woken by that night staff crawling around the door to sort of check that they're okay every hour or every 2 hours. So they sleep through probably for the first time in a long time. We saw lots of reductions in behaviours because of that. A great big advantage. But also the clients who haven't got dementia, privacy and dignity wise, again, if there's no noise, if there's no incident, then they get to sleep through and nobody's coming into their room. So it works really, really well on their front. Staffing wise, one of the advantages is that staff can record and monitor residents much more closely as well. So for instance, on a normal night report, if I picked up the care notes the next morning, they would say things like, fine, slept well, or checked 3 times, was awake on every time. You're not actually getting much detail, whereas with the care monitoring, you're getting detailed notes. So you're getting, in the last hour, John has coughed 3 times, feels fine, has not needed help, or John has slept well throughout the night, we've heard him snoring on several occasions, and so you get more real responses to actually what's going on. And as I said before, you're only intervening when the intervention's needed, whereas in care, so often we intervene because that's what we need to do for our own peace of mind and whatever, or that's what the care plan says. With the monitoring, it's so much more responsive to that individual and what they need at any one time. For the care staff, they're often scared of using new technologies, and the great thing with this is that it actually uses and embellishes the stuff that they're already doing really well. So if you talk to care staff about how they know a resident's not well or how they know a resident's in distress, a lot of it's about body language, it's about small signs, it's about knowing that resident, and it's something that our care staff do really, really well, is actually picking up on those little signs and working with it. This technology helps in that way because you're doing exactly the same through sound, so you find very quickly that night staff will listen and will learn what those sounds are. So you get used to if somebody's got heavy breathing at night, you get used to the fact that somebody gets up, goes to the loo and is absolutely fine. You get used to the fact that somebody turns over all night. We used to have one who, you constantly heard the rattling of the bed sheets, and that was fine because it just meant their normal behaviour was there. So that instinctive way of working for carers doesn't get lost. It's just not based on the visual now, it's based on that auditory feedback that you're going to get. So they do really quickly go, oh yeah, we heard lots of noises, but it was really nothing.